broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
All right. Welcome back, guys. Season 4, Basketball Wives, Episode 2. Crazy episode tonight, huh?
Yes.
Just the drama. It's like Christmas. It keeps on giving.
Yes.
The gift keeps on giving. Anyway, we're glad you guys decided to spend your night with us. I'm your host, William Lee. You can find me anytime on Twitter at William Lee TV, or if you're on Instagram, venture over there. It's William_Beverly Hills. Right? How fitting.
Hey guys, that's such a weird Twitter name. But
right?
Of course, I am Gary Thomas, and of course, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at I am Gary Thomas, or my website IamGaryThomas.com.
Nice. Well, this show, it's oh my God.
Before you do that, make sure you guys like and subscribe us on YouTube.
You have to.
YouTube /AfterBuzz TV,
or our website AfterBuzzTV.com.
Yes, and I'd like to tell people, download the app. It's so much easier to get to the shows when you have the app on your phone. It's a great app. It's easy just to click on it, hear it, or watch it, either one. And
it's free, and that's the best part.
Exactly.
You don't have to it's just you click on it, it's there. Apple, Android, it doesn't matter what you have, they got you covered. BlackBerry, we got you. Sidekick, maybe not.
Right, right, not Sidekick.
Yeah, it's 12 years ago, so
right.
Yeah.
And of course, if they want to keep up with the show, ABTV. BBWLA. That's for Basketball Wives.
Hashtag. Yes, on Twitter. That's right. That's we got it. We got it. We've known each other forever. We're finishing each other's sentences.
Right.
It works that way. It's raining tonight. If you guys are in the Los Angeles area, it's been raining this whole weekend and humid. And if you're from Florida, that's what we have here this weekend.
It's crazy.
It really is almost like Ohio, kind of. Maybe not.
Right.
I don't know.
Not quite.
Not quite. But tonight, it's just the fireworks on this show. Just it's the gift that keeps on giving, as we mentioned. It's just so intense. You and I mentioned that we think, Draya Michelle is like our secret crush. We love that woman.
She's like my real life crush. And when I saw her in person and she touched me, I was like,
you were
taken
touched.
aback. I was touched a bit. But I don't know what people get it from her, but she's really she is a nice person in real life. She kind of has this edge on the show, but in real life, she is a sweet girl. I really like her. That is,
when you can meet someone who is amazing in person and on the inside and out, in this town, as I'm sure you've seen, it's rare. It's hard to come by.
It is. And it's fortunate for this show because, I've interviewed most of the girls on the show.
Nice.
I've, had red carpet interviews with most of them, and that's kind of why I wasn't here last week. I went to the premiere. I hosted on the red carpet for the premiere, and they're not quite who you think, but you can still get some juice from them. They give it to you.
The flavor's there. The hot sauce is there. They got the juice.
Exactly.
Everything is flowing. But this, it's the season 4 already is off to a big start, and it's just really getting crazy. We have so many things this season coming up, and it all started with a snake. A snake in a car.
Snake in a car.
Snake in a car.
The Boussard. Is it called Bossard or Boussard? I think Bossard Cognac that Jackie has.
Cognac, that's the one.
Cognac.
She's got it. She's a boss.
Yeah,
she's a boss.
Bossard Cognac. Jackie Christie is definitely always has a lot going on.
Always. She doesn't know when. I don't know when she has any day off. I mean, she's and this is amazing that she's doing as much as she is, because you'd think, all the drama and this, and not to be a hater or anything, but we know that she is, a little older than some of the other ladies on the show, but she's still.
There's no age in business, though.
That is true. That is true. So she's just nonstop, and the car wasn't about to show up on the episode. The snake wasn't about to show up, and it was getting a little scary. She was on the phone with practically everybody, and eventually the good news is the car showed up, the snake showed up, but also the drama showed up.
Yeah. So her lead actress is not there, whoever this lady was, and Megan steps in to play the part. And we also saw a couple cameos in this one. We had Christian Keys was playing the guy in the commercial. They didn't really say that. And then I saw Oscar Rodriguez in there, helping her do different things. So it was kind of cool seeing some people around LA that you see normally in the commercial. But and
we were talking during the show about Christian in the car, like he's the go-to celebrity car guy you were mentioning.
It was Oscar Rodriguez.
Oscar Rodriguez.
He works. Yeah, I'm not even trying to drop his company, plug, because I don't work for them.
Yeah.
But there is flew Natasha, who the company he works for, and they kind of do all the luxury branding. So I can see how they assisted her in this venue here.
It's a mutually benefiting relationship.
Exactly.
So win-win for both involved. And the snake, when the snake started slithering, remember Jackie? She was like, "It's moving, it's moving." So, but eventually it got under control and everything was a hit. Except
Patrice,
for the drama. Right?
Patrice showing up.
Yeah.
So Patrice is very new to me, so I'm not sure how I feel about her just yet, and I'm trying to feel her out. But she shows up, and she said she came there to be nosy, though.
Yeah, she's like the new kid at school, where we're not sure, totally about her. Same here, but everyone says she's nosy. You're right, and it's like, what has she done that these people are so upset with? How has she gotten a nerve or struck a nerve with these, with Jackie and everyone?
I mean, I can agree with what Megan said. Megan said she kind of came off cold, but I mean, Megan's very bubbly, so maybe she doesn't take that very well. But she, you don't just walk up in somebody's video shoot or a commercial shoot and just kind of like, I'm here snooping around, asking questions. But then had the audacity to say that Megan was in her Kool-Aid,
in her flavor too.
Right? Like you don't want to know the flavor.
I love that quote. I'm gonna start using that. You better stay out of my Kool-Aid and my flavor. Like, oh man,
that is really 1990.
It really was.
Yeah, 1990.
Commercial. Remember the giant Kool-Aid man running around, changing colors. It's like, it's a throwback is what it was.
Right. Like, why did you even bring that up, Patrice? Like that kind of like told your age right there.
Right.
But we all do that.
The one-liners on the show, I mean, never gets old.
Because it's always at the end of the day, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, like
we cool, it's gonna be okay. We're not gonna fight too much,
right?
It's like, we're still gonna love each other, even though we secretly hate each other. I don't, it's really. I'm happy that Jackie, obviously, she. Even though some people say she may start drama, she does it. To me, she seems almost like a motherly figure. Like she's trying. Maybe I'm reading her wrong.
I can't see that.
I mean, I could be reading her wrong, but it's.
I think that she definitely.
Maybe she manipulates. She's tricked me already.
Yeah.
My first time watching the show.
I think she's definitely, is a nice person.
Yeah.
But I definitely think she has a way with words, and it. She may not always mean what she says, but it definitely gets under people's skin, and I think that's what is happening here. Yeah. And it's crazy that her and Megan, who Megan is originally Bad Girls Club.
That's right.
So how they are clicking kind of right on,
more cohesive. For sure. And then there's just they have that natural bond because they've probably been in similar situations, maybe different stories, but they get each other. They know deep down.
That's a huge age gap for them to get each other.
They're definitely not sharing each other's clothes. I don't think.
No.
The same Louboutins are not going on. They're a little more. One might be Stuart Weitzman, the other one's doing Christian Louboutin.
But what do you even think about this whole Patrice, Megan, Jackie conversation that kind of went on?
Yeah, no, it's that to me it was kind of confusing because it was like, what is the big issue? What is the drama? Like, what has this girl done to you? How is she? How did she strike this nervous person? How did she upset this person? That to me, so I'm still making sense of it, honestly. I mean, for you guys watching at home, I am kind of new to the show, but hopefully from here we can kind of get some, resolution, and they can kind of, sit down and, maybe do like a, Doug Christie / Malaysia sit down. Maybe not quite that intimate, but we'll see. Maybe no hugs in this one. I know, people spying out. We'll get to that later, but yeah.
But I feel like that's Jackie's thing. She said, I want you to judge me as me, and when I have issues, I just sit down and talk. It's too many sit down talks. Like if you just watch what you say in the beginning,
exactly. You don't have to say it 10 million times.
You don't have to have this conversation afterwards. Like just be mindful of the things that you're saying in the beginning, because I just felt like. Patrice did come off a little bit cold, but if you're already sizing her up the way Megan was, she's like, you came in here looking like an old lady.
Yeah, she read her from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like, she wasn't looking necessarily like an old lady, but she's a mom,
put together a little more distinguished, and the outfit's not going to be, hoochie coochie, all revealing, and she's not going to work at the Spearmint Rhino, later that night. She's going for a presentable business executive. It is her, her alcoholic beverage. It is her company. It's or something that she's involved with, so she has to be presentable. Which I get that. We're all in brand ambassadors. We all have our dreams. You gotta, and as you're pursuing them, you gotta look presentable. Like if you look like you just got out of bed. Who's going to take Jackie serious or anybody?
I just feel like it's kind of like she is already like, that's why I'm on the fence about it, because she came in and she said, I'm trying to be nosy in one clip. Then she told Jackie that, I'm trying to figure you out, what's going on. Then the next she's with Draya in Malaysia, and she says, oh, I thought you guys were going to be there, so that's why I came. Yeah. So we all know, even as viewers, we are not dumb enough to know that Draya in Malaysia would show up to this commercial. Yeah. Like, Patrice, you should have known. You could have given them a phone call and asked or something like that.
Send the email, text, something.
You're talking about 3 different stories that don't even make sense right now.
Yeah, it really is. It's like a one collision traffic accident waiting to happen.
Right.
It's just it's such a train wreck, and hopefully there'll be more resolution as the season progresses. We're only on the 2nd episode, so we'll see hopefully something.
Yeah, we're going to see a little bit more.
That's
a little bit more.
We got to wait a little longer, people. We got to wait just a little bit longer. But it just. Speaking of strippers, I mentioned the Spearmint Rhino earlier, and Patrice, she wasn't going to work there, but it was oh my gosh, strippers with Eddie and Patrice and the birthday party. It was surprise.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was
lighten the mood a little bit.
Yeah, although I agree with Draya. Maybe something a little bit more sexier could have been fun, but I think that they're parents of like almost 10 kids, almost. Right. So, and she said, I've been a mom for so long,
for like 14 plus years,
right?
For many years, yeah.
But her story is crazy. Like she is now mothering the child that he created, while he was having
extramarital
he was out here doing his thing,
on the side.
So I commend her by all means.
Exactly.
His mother was killed. She took him in. That is, and she stuck out through the marriage, but.
Yeah, that was the 7th child, because 6 were their own, and then the 7th. But
I don't even know, like 6 of them are. I don't know the story of they're all from the same relationship.
The same relationship, absolutely. But that's crazy. I mean, the fact that she wanted to, I agree with you 100%. Adopt and be there for take the child in as its own. That's what I'm trying to say. Even in this challenging environment where the mother gets tragically shot and murdered and. Can't even imagine that. But it's just, now she said she's trying to find him a home eventually. I think trying to adopt. I think they were saying something.
Well, no. They're taking care of him. She's taking care of him as if she is his mother.
Yeah.
Because the real mother was killed and was murdered.
That's what I was trying to make sense of.
How
she's going to keep it or just eventually.
Yeah, so she's trying to make him her own. She's basically his stepmother, but right. She's like, I want to put paperwork. Right. So she's actually his mother. Yeah.
So that's amazing.
But this party. It was, the party was not even the highlight of this. The highlight was this conversation between, Malaysia, Brandy, and Draya about, the conversation about the date.
Yeah. It was, and that was the party. Literally was the midget stripper with the tattoos, and then this one, larger woman who was just up there getting it, having a good time. I know.
Whatever
was happening there, I was like, this is getting a little, stale. It wasn't even as much as
we didn't really see this was like a birthday party. Like nobody really cared about that. It was really about the conversation.
Just hanging out, But it was getting juicy. It was really just they really got into, I think, some more of their deep issues there a little bit more, and just scratch the surface.
I think they just really, like, Draya, I think Draya was very honest in saying, I didn't word this correctly until Jackie was at dates. And then, I think that Malaysia was just a little bit too on the fence about it. She just admitted, like, she's like, you guys backed me to a corner, like, okay, you just been really dramatic now about the whole situation. I just feel like, calm down. Yeah. Whatever. You put this out into the air.
Exactly.
She may not have worded it correctly the way you wanted to, but you put it out there.
And karma, you put that energy out, it comes back.
Exactly. Now you want to get mad at Brandy, because Brandy's kind of like laughing along, like, well, you asked her this.
Exactly. And it just, if you want something, it's kind of like, it's almost like there's a saying, less is more. For her in her situation, probably the less that she got involved, the less that she said or speculated or thought, the more, the better it would have turned out, versus kind of getting overly involved or overly into it. And so I thought that was a little, I agree with you.
Right, she's kind of getting up and storming out to go get some air, like, come on. It was just, it was adding to the drama of it, and I just feel like, come on.
When she got up like that, I was like, really?
Come on.
It wasn't even, she just like was
sit back down, calm down.
Like, I'm like, did she have to go to the bathroom? Did she have to blow her nose? Did she have to get a little snack, some water, some tea, some coffee? What was going on? She just literally just got up like someone rang a bell and she got up, like she was just timed or programmed, to boop and boop. So.
I honestly didn't expect Draya to tell the truth. Not that I think Draya is a liar. No. Don't quote me on that. I just didn't think that she would say it like exactly this is exactly what I said to Jackie.
This is
exactly to a T. Like,
to a T.
I didn't say date. said meeting. Like,
exactly.
So I mean,
Dating,
two
different things, right?
So I thought that normally, it's a little bit more drama. So I didn't think she was going to be so straightforward with it. Like, this is what I said.
She was literally straight to it without any sugarcoating, any nothing at all. And it wasn't like Tinder. They know each other. It wasn't like trying to. He's available on Tinder. Go get him on a date. It was just a meeting to discuss. You're right. Their thoughts and feelings and how Malaysia was feeling towards Doug Christie. And yeah, I think it truly got kind of blown out of proportion, as we saw towards the end of the episode with with Jackie outright being out there with not almost binoculars, literally had the iPhone in one hand and was looking out the window with the other hand and just trying to see what was going on at the restaurant.
Yeah, so they have this conversation, Malaysia and Doug meet up, and it's first of all, Jackie. I don't know if I agree with her because I'm not married or have these type of feelings, because she just kind of was like, in tears, like, he's meeting her with Malaysia, this maniac, and it's like, didn't you agree to this?
Right?
Like, you
said it would be okay. It's like, and then now she's flipping the table like, oh, I didn't agree to this.
Like, what did you think? What did you think was going to happen between Malaysia? First of all, Malaysia don't want Doug.
Yeah, not at all.
We all know Malaysia's way too bad to want Doug.
Exactly.
Malaysia got it. Malaysia does look that good in person.
She sure does.
But Malaysia's way too bad to want Doug. Yeah. Doug is happily married. Like, what are you sweating on?
20 years. Remember they said 20 years together and married, and quite frankly, they seem a little more kind of. They got their lives in cruise control, or they're just coasting. Whereas Malaysia's kind of still, she's established, but she's still growing. It seems like. Well,
Malaysia is recently divorced.
She
recently divorced. Pargo. Yeah. And this is right, they're recently divorced. This is like a new discovery period for her. So I think that trying to fill out her friends and everything going on in her life, this is kind of like the prime time to do that, because she's like rediscovering who Malaysia is right now,
and finding what she loves and what she doesn't like, and rediscovering Malaysia, and the tension, the feelings, like, is she really my friend? Is this not? And just relearning and regrowing, which I think we always got to learn and grow. Otherwise you kind of stay in neutral in that relationship. And recently divorced, you got to be looking for love. I think she is going to find it eventually. We'll see when.
But the fact that even Jackie even brings up the fact, like, does she want to ruin my marriage? Does she want my guy because she's recently Jackie?
Divorced.
No, Jackie. Like, cut that right now.
Out.
Like, cut that right now. Like, I think that I don't even know. I feel like as parts of this conversation were just. Irrelevant. Like, Malaysia didn't really have to say some of the things that she did to Doug, because I feel like that is just girl talk, the stuff that happened between you guys. And Doug already has seen the episodes of the past seasons. He knows what already happened, and to kind of say that, tell a man that you think his wife is kind of like a two-faced, kind of backstab you, like, that's in so many words what she was saying. She was basically saying your wife is a snake in the grass.
Yeah, literally.
Like,
I thought I was in the car though in the video, but there's more than one snake on this apparently, folks.
How could you sit there and say that to somebody's husband? Like,
right to you, like. Right, and up, and no bones about it, no justification, just went there for it. Went for the jugular.
Right, to this woman's husband.
To her husband, yeah. And 20 years there of love, it's kind of, that's a long time in this day and age. most people don't make it, especially in the, athletic world, the entertainment industry. It's even higher, the divorce rate and separation and infidelity, and it's sad, but the fact that it almost seemed like she was maybe trying to make a wedge or create this tension that wasn't even there to begin with.
I think that we've we've learned in the past season that Jackie traveled with the team, so I don't think he had as many opportunities to be unfaithful, but nor maybe he didn't want to. Not me speculating, but I mean, she was always there, maybe that was the strength of the relationship. She was always there.
And Jackie said in the episode that not once during their 20-year relationship that has Doug ever been on the phone or talking to some woman without her being right there, without Jackie being right there, listening into the call or the in-person conversation. So she was always very there, very involved, and making sure that he wouldn't go stray or whatever.
So. Maybe just being overbearing.
Overbearing. That's the perfect word. Overbearing Jackie.
Yeah, because I think Jackie's overbearing in everything in her life, and it may be like it may be one of those things like Doug said. It comes from caring so much.
Control freak.
Yeah, she is. She likes to have her hand. In everything, like her daughter, her husband, her friends. She likes to be in control, and you can see that throughout all the seasons, that she cannot be spontaneous or just let things not be what she foresees it, And
micromanaging. She's like the video from the music video shoot in this episode to her husband and the conversation with Malaysia to everything. She's just heavily involved.
Right, she couldn't let go. There's no way.
She's hanging on.
Right, like Draya said, you got to be somewhere else at home, maybe drinking some wine.
Right.
No, we knew Jackie wasn't gonna have that.
Not at all. She was just like, I want to be involved. I got my driver. I got this Escalade I'm sitting in, just sitting back and watching from a distance across the street, from the restaurant. And she was hands on the whole situation the whole time. I remember she called him numerous times.
Yeah.
And he just kept, for the most part, sending the voicemail. He finally picked up, and he was just like, we're almost. I'll tell you everything that happened, babe. When we get back, I'll let you know. Everything.
Do you think he should have answered on the first phone call?
With someone like that, and being with Jackie for 20 years, I would say yeah. I would say if to not push her buttons. By him not answering the first time, I think kind of pushed more of her buttons. By him just kind of like, send a voicemail, click, click, click. That probably made her more antsy, more riled up. Maybe he knew that, he could get away with it for a little bit, but then maybe he eventually was like, I got to answer this. I got to talk to my babe. If I don't talk to her now, she might be, calling 911 or something. I
just want to understand, what did she think she was going to accomplish? Like, did she want to make it seem like, oh, I'm still, his number one, but I'm going to call. You might be out with my husband right now, but I'm going to call him 3, 4, call him and make sure he answers this phone.
Right.
Just to,
don't think you're his side chick.
Right.
You sure aren't.
What type of security was she expecting to get from this here phone call?
And that's the thing is, she was there. She saw what was happening. Remember, she said the only thing that she couldn't see, she couldn't hear what they were doing, but she could see what they were doing. And there was nothing really to me that was that serious. They were just kind of chatting about her feelings, his feelings. Doug was very straightforward to the point. She, said a few of the issues I think that she had with Jackie, and she asked him, "Does your wife?" I'm trying to think the exact quote, but something of this nature, that does she get worked up easily or riled up, or does she, can you? And he said, yeah, like she kind of she has that side that's not all she's about, but she has a little bit of that, in her if it gets pulled to the surface or someone pushes her buttons. So they were being both straightforward, especially Doug. I don't think he was hiding anything or, lying, or he was straight to the point with her. As good as he could have been for a meeting, not a date, a simple meeting. They didn't meet on Tinder, or any of that, clearly. So I think that he handled his business for sure. Good.
So overall, so after this whole episode, how do you think the new girls, Patrice and Megan, are fitting into this circle of reality show veterans, so to speak, of Basketball Wives?
This whole equation of reality show chaos and wives, they're easing their way in. I think they're in some ways maybe they're could do more, could do less. I think they're just kind of touching the surface. I've noticed sometimes when new characters come on other shows that are out there that they usually will start with getting involved a little bit, but not necessarily showing their true emotions, who they really are, till usually so many episodes in or so many seasons in sometimes on some of the shows. So I think they're definitely getting in there. I can't wait to see their story develop and the storylines that, who do they side with or who they really are. But I think they're, for the most part, staying fairly, not too crazy so far, or fairly neutral. I mean, that's kind of my read based on this episode. I think that's a very accurate read for Patrice. For Patrice, especially.
Very accurate, but I don't think that's an accurate read for Megan.
Oh, no, Megan's more of a prior.
Yeah, she's Megan came with so much more fire. She's already dropping the B word. Yeah. Her personality is so strong, and she is, like I said, coming from another reality TV show. She was on Bad Girls Club.
That's right.
I think she's just really quick at this.
Megan James,
knows how the game is.
Yeah, she, and that's the thing. You're right. She seems more that she's going to be probably making some headlines the next few episodes. She's already getting the fire going, and which is, we love to see that as viewers, as fans. We love to see that. We know that that's what makes the shows interesting. If they were just all dressed up in suits and ties and dresses and just going to a cocktail dinner and having steak and wine, we really wouldn't watch it.
Right.
So that's what makes it interesting.
Right. So I think that is a good time to get into predictions.
Prediction time.
Right.
What if all of a sudden snakes came out?
I don't have time for that.
Yeah, but you and I were we don't need no snakes in our life. Snakes on a plane, snakes in a car, none of that. Just pass. Tap out of that. Yeah. So prediction time.
So we're going into episode 3 of season 4, Basketball Wives LA. What are you expecting? We saw a couple of previews. What are you expecting from the next episode?
It's just going to get more crazy. I do think Megan's kind of story is going to develop more, as we were just mentioning, that she's going to show more of who she allies with, who she sides with, and I think Jackie is still going to question the date that Doug and Malaysia had, even though she was an eyewitness there, and she saw what happened. Basically, she didn't hear what happened, obviously, because she was in the car, but she was there, and she's gonna perhaps misinterpret something, I think, and there's gonna be some fire. She seemed to get a little heated in the preview, so. That's where it's looking so far. I think Draya Michelle, as we both agree, drop dead gorgeous as she is, it seems like that the ladies feel like she's either stirring up the pot or getting involved or meddling in ways that she shouldn't, perhaps. So I think there's definitely more to come with her, and we'll see what she has in store. I'm kind of Team Draya, so she can do no wrong.
I am Team Draya too.
So we're a little biased here, just a tad.
I mean, I like the other girls too, but I think for me, we already saw in a little bit of episode. Draya and Megan are gonna get into it really bad. I'm not surprised by it, because when I actually talked to Megan, I was like, who, did you connect with? Like, I was like, I love Draya. She was like, Draya, who? And I was just so taken aback, and I can't wait I need to actually release that video, because it's so out there. But she said that, and I was like, oh, so I'm not surprised that they're gonna get into it, of course. So I'm interested to see, how this pans out, because Draya is kind of like one of the veterans of the show, and you're new, and I wonder how the viewers are gonna side with this. And I'm excited because, this season is LA and Miami combined. So that's why Shawnee O'Neal is coming back. Yeah, so, we get to celebrate Shawnee's 40th. I didn't know Shawnee was 40.
Yeah, time flies. She looks like she's, 28, 32, something. She's doing good.
But Shawnee, the thing about Shawnee gives off more of a nicer persona show, but Shawnee reads people on Twitter and Instagram. Don't get it food viewers. Right. She reads people.
She'll read you.
Right. She tells people.
She'll tweet back even.
Yeah, she'll basically tell you I get paid when I'm on the show or not.
Exactly.
So I'm excited to see her
those checks regardless.
I'm just basically excited to see her back in the show, and I just seeing how the blend is with Miami and LA.
Absolutely.
Now,
marrying both the left coast and the right coast, seeing how it blends, how it's.
I think that's like the stir up of the most drama, and probably the most genuine stories we're going to get, because it's such different
perspectives and storylines and histories and past, and it's kind of like the earthquakes and the hurricanes in Florida with the it's just, we'll see.
But everybody's out here in LA now, so
you got to get out here, guys. I mean, it's summertime. Come to LA. Maybe you might even see a basketball wife at a restaurant. You never know. I mean,
maybe
don't get too close, because they might bite. Some of them might be like Michelle or whoever Megan might be giving you.
Megan's sweet. Don't get me wrong. Megan is really nice.
Deep down, I really do.
I think she's really
here, so
yes. I've interviewed her a couple times.
Really cool,
she is really nice. She
Whether people think maybe it's just the hard exterior, or
she
gives
does
off a vibe.
Yeah, she's younger. So we've seen her in reality TV from the time she was 21 all the way to 25. Bad Girls Girl 21, now 25 on Basketball Wives. So you're just seeing.
And that age range, a lot happens, a lot of growth.
Yeah, you're spicier. You're
fresh, vibrant, finding love, getting your career, to the right point, and growing a lot for sure. All right, well, we want to know what you guys think. What's going to happen next? What are your predictions?
Hashtag
us,
ABTV, BBWLA.
LA it is. Please hashtag us. Let us know. We really want to know what's going to happen this season, because like we were mentioning, it's LA, it's Miami, it's the best of both worlds. So.
Oh, yeah, I want to see what the viewers are going to say.
Yeah, because
what do they think?
You guys might be onto something that we don't even know about. You never know.
Exactly.
Never know. So, I had so much fun. It was so cool, Gary, this episode, and just getting to know the ladies more, and getting to see how the season's gone down, and I thought it was really cool. I thought it was
this wasn't as
not the crazy
I'm waiting for next episode,
the earrings, or just knocking them down and police being called. Next episode should be
right
episode 3, so you never know. Third time's a charm.
We don't got Sunday getting her eye punched out this season. There we go. We need to wrap up there.
Right, boom! He's like, boom! Knocked down. Yeah, get your optometrist now. I hope she has a good one after that.
Right. So.
Oh, guys, thank you so much again for watching and tuning in, and we would love to. We can't wait to see what you guys think next time about everything. Please tweet us. Get on Facebook, Instagram. You can find me personally at William_Beverly Hills on Instagram, and William Lee TV on Twitter. How about Gary?
You can, of course, find me at I am Gary Thomas on Instagram and Twitter, and, of course, my website, IamGaryThomas.com.
Nice. Perfect. Thank you guys so much.
See you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AFTERBUZZTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AFTERBUZZ TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.